I remember this very week of making it into the top 3. I think there's different levels. You know, you want to make it into the top 36. You want to make it to the top 24, then the top 10. You know, there are different levels and different goals that you set for yourself along the way. And that was one of my goals. And, you know, not only was I in the top 3, I was the last girl standing, just like Crystal. You know, it is, when you really look back to it, if Crystal doesn't win, she can say, I won in the girls department. You know what I'm saying? She was the last girl standing. My favorite Idol memory, I had a lot actually, but the one that stands out in my mind, we did a song with Burt Bacharach. Here I am, you know, little old me from Gallatin, Tennessee, standing next to, I was literally standing right next to Burt. He was playing the piano. And I looked out and I got so emotional, I just burst into tears. It was one of those surreal moments where I was like, is this really happening to me? The first time I sang on the Idol stage, I was nervous. I didn't know what song to sing. I ended up singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow again. The first time on stage, you know, listen, it's almost like you've been waiting for that moment your entire life. It's the stage. You have arrived. My favorite performance on American Idol was when I sang Billy Joel, New York State of Mind. Before we went to Idol, they had given us a couple of genres to choose from, and Billy Joel was one of them, so I had already worked up this arrangement of the song. So when they said Billy Joel, I was ready. I was like, oh, I know my song. I think that is the one night that Simon Cowell gave me a positive comment without throwing it out the window with a negative comment. So he even loved me that night. The hardest thing about being on the show is staying true to yourself and being grounded, I think. Once that, you know, Ryan Seacrest says, you know, see you next week or see you tomorrow night, then you got a whole nother days of work ahead of you. We all go out to dinner afterwards, we've got press to do, and then we got to immediately go into thinking about the next day before we're done with this day. So there's so many things going on. You know, and I think that's one of the hardest parts, is just kind of keeping your composure and keeping it all together. I don't know what it's like to go back to normal life after the show because I didn't go back. I remember we went back and we had to pack up. I mean, like each of us probably shipped 20 boxes home. And I remember calling my mom and I said, a whole bunch of boxes are gonna arrive, but don't unpack them. You're gonna have to send them all back to me. And she was like, what do you mean? I said, I'm not coming home. And so I went on the tour, and then when I came back from the tour, I stayed in LA. I just released a brand new single with Randy Jackson called Strobe Light, and it's on his new label, Dream Merchant 21. And, you know, it's so funny because another one of those surreal, funny moments in my life is when, you know, Randy and I signed a contract together to work on my next project. Who knew 7 years later, after I was on the show, that I would still have this relationship and have this opportunity to work with him. Oh, Ryan's handsome. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Randy Jackson, my favorite person, just down to earth. He's the guy you want to go out and hang out with. Oh, Simon. Need I say more? We miss Paula from the show. I'm telling you, I love Ellen, but Paula is definitely missed and she needs to know that. Ruben, you know, Ruben is fun, always get a good laugh, and you know what, I know every time I see Ruben, he's gonna be busting my chops about something. He's always giving me a hard time. Thank you. Thank you.